Yep, I'm ready.
All right, well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie, the guy who sews. My name is Sean, if you haven't been here before, and welcome to both new and returning viewers. And I have my very, very special friend, special guest as well, Dani from So Not an Expert. I am so happy that she decided to join me this morning. She is up early, so bear with her a little bit, but she's a little sluggish. It's only 7 a.m. where she is. But yeah, it's great to have you. So why don't you introduce yourself, Dani, and say hi, and just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sean, so much for letting me come on your show today. I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I had so much fun the last time, so I really, really appreciate it. Oh, sorry about that. My volume on my phone is on. My name is Dani, and I am so not an expert. I do have my own channel over on the other side, I guess, somewhere. I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. On our channel, we do a lot of tutorial videos. We're always learning new things. I'm not an expert. That is the whole premise behind my channel. So I like to have you guys show me how to do things, or we go online and we do some searches and we try and find other ways to do things, and we learn those things together. We do a lot of full-size projects on our live streams on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, and then our videos consist of smaller projects or quilt block tutorials, things like that. I do have a cotton cuts project that I'm working on. I'm not working on Village Green, but I am working on the Piazza one, so we're really excited to see how that one goes. I'll probably be posting another video this week for that, but we have so much fun on my channel. I mean, of course, we have a lot of fun on Sean's channel as well, but we have a lot of fun on my channel. We play a lot of games in our chat, so there's a lot of fun prizes that you can win over there. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I love your chat, your live streams for that. You're a little bit different to everybody else that I watch. I just love those games. You can play like slots and other stuff. And it's with these, it's a virtual, what I want to call a virtual currency called Thimbles, which it's not real money. It's not anything that you can lose physically. It's just a lot of fun. And you can cash them in for fabric or other stuff as well. But it's just a lot of fun. We all just hop in there and have a good time. And I don't get to watch your lives as often as I want, but you know, it's always a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked out, not Stephanie, Dani, I'll get it right in a minute. My coffee has not quite kicked in yet. If you haven't caught her live streams yet, definitely head over there on Sunday morning. It's always a lot of stuff. Stephen Bland says he's addicted to Dani's games, and I hear that a lot. Everyone loves the games that you play as well. Quilting and Man Cave is here. Good morning. Good morning, Ange. It's always good to see you here with us. Beverly Aitkins, good morning. Good morning, Sean from the Moldy Lasagna. Good evening, Janet. She's joining us from Western Australia. Stephen Bland and the Idiot Quilters here. Good friend of mine. Always good to have him here with us. We need to get him back on the channel here at some point as well. Janine, good morning. Let's see who else is here. MJ is here. Good morning. Good morning, my good friend Donna. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do so. She's always a lot of fun. And also check out Stephen's. If you have a channel, please let me know in the chat, and we'll get your link up there as soon as we can, because I always love supporting other channels wherever I can. Sewing Quilt with April Sortel is here. Good morning. She has a wonderful channel. She was here with me a few weeks ago as well, so definitely check her out. Kerry Living Good, good morning. Lynn Shepherd, good morning. Joyce Baker, good morning as well. And I think I've caught up with everybody. Let's see if I've missed anyone. Okay, Joyce says she's working on month 11 of the 4-star general. I will start month 12 in about half an hour. So yeah, also let us know what you're working on this morning if you can. I'm going to be continuing working on my t-shirt quilt that I started last week. And Dani, what are you going to be working on? You still with us, Dani? Never lost sound.
Sean, okay. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but for some reason I have lost audio. So give me just a minute. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I know you're back. I hear you now. We lost you for a second, but
of course, there's always something, right?
It happens.
Nothing ever goes the way you're supposed to have it go.
No. Yeah, if you ever go live, you have to be able to put up with
there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. I was like, all of a sudden I lost audio. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I just was asking what, and bear with me as I'm looking at different cameras. I did a new setup this morning and actually solved a long-standing issue with my live streams, when I use Zoom, it used to go to a new link all the time. And thank you to my good friend Becca from So Becca. She sent me a video the other day on how to fix it, and it worked like a dream. So I've got a new setup. I've got a new camera angle as well, which I'm playing with. I'm sorry it's a bit blurry. It's a 13-year-old laptop, so we may continue using it. We may ditch it. Who knows? But at least we didn't have to go to a new link this morning. So, Dani, the question I was asking when you went audio bye-bye was what project are you working on this morning?
This morning, I'm working on a log cabin block. It'll turn out to be a full-size quilt. It's Valentine's Day fabrics. We started it on our 1-year anniversary stream a few weeks ago, and so I'm just going to pick up that one and continue with it. We started with it as a paper piecing project as part of the It's So Emma paper, but I've went ahead and that takes too long. So I'm going to actually do it as a chain piecing project. I've got some pieces cut up already, and then the rest of them I'm just going to sew right onto the strips. I'm using a 2.5-inch jelly roll.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think it's a partial jelly roll floating around here somewhere that someone gave me last year, and I haven't used it yet, but I will at some point. Okay, and I'm working on my t-shirt quilt. I would love to get the quilt top finished this weekend, which is quite doable. I think a lot of you guys saw it last week, so that's what I'm going to be working on. So, all right. Beverly says she is working on the boho heart quilt. Anne says she loves my t-shirt. Yeah, it was a Christmas. This one was a Christmas gift from either Amanda or my in-laws or Daria. I can't remember. They gave me a bunch, which was really nice. So during the week, I went ahead and cut out a baseball jersey, and it turned out really, really nice. And so that's going to form the third row of my quilt. So that's what we're working on first. And then I'm going to be able to stitch all the rows together.
Do you stabilize your fabrics, Sean?
Yes, I use the Pellon P44F. Yeah, I know there's people out there that say you don't have to use it. And I'm sure there is no rule that says you have to, but I've tried doing it without stabilizer, and it's you have to struggle with it. So, I mean, if you want to save the 20 cents or so a shirt and not do it, be my guest. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I don't think it's worth the hassle.
Yeah, I've made one t-shirt quilt in my life, and it was not my most fun project for sure. Because I was making it for a friend, so you're kind of handling somebody else's memories, and so there's stress with that. But the stabilizing was probably the longest part for me. But because they were true t-shirts, there was just no way I was going to be able to sew them together otherwise. They were too stretchy.
Right. Were you using a regular iron to put the stabilizer on?
Yeah, I bought an iron-on stabilizer. It was just adhesive on one side, not on both sides. And so I ironed it onto the fabric, and then I would actually cut it out to make sure that it would stay right. Stable.
Yeah, and you're quite right. This putting the stabilizer on does take a long time. My wife was very nice, and one year, about 3 or 4 years ago, she bought me a steam press, and that cuts the time down immensely.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yes, I think it was like $150, $160. It's a steam fast steam press. It's on Amazon. I'm sure other places sell it as well. It is worth every penny. Not only is it good for doing like stabilizer on the back of these t-shirts, which is what this is, just in case anyone doesn't know what it is. But it's also good for like pressing larger pieces of fabric. I do it for doing my binding. I use it for yardage or anything big. Like if I want to do my seams, I use a little iron, but anything bigger than that, I just use a big one. All right, Donna says, can you zoom in on the second camera? Is this better, Donna? Is that the one you're talking about? All right. Marge says, hi, Sean. Hi, Dani. Popped in while watching footy trial games preseason. Yes, so that's the rugby league, I think she's talking about, which is getting ready to start. I was wondering when that was going to start. So That is awesome. Everyone loves my shirt. Janet says she wants my shirt. I would have to ask where this one came from. I'm pretty sure it was on Amazon. I think that's where probably everybody went and got it. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Lynn says your t-shirt quilt is beautifully working up. I'm working on memory quilted bears and pillows. Those things are awesome. All right. So what else have you been up to recently, Dani?
Oh goodness, this year has been a busy year for me. Not necessarily with our channel, but just in my personal life, it's been really really busy. So unfortunately, I've been kind of behind a little bit on my regular videos. I told you we have the Piazza quilt that we're working on, so that's really exciting. We also have a series on our channel called The Block Party, which is basically we are using one book. It's called the Quilt Maker's 1,000 Blocks book. And we pick a different block from the book to make, and we make 2 of them, and then eventually we'll have a sample quilt later on. We're not focused on what fabrics we're putting together or things like that. We're just taking whatever's in our stash and making really pretty blocks with it. So we're doing a little bit of that. We also have 2 full-size projects that we've been working on recently as well. Mix and Match, which is the one that we'll be working on tomorrow on our live stream. And then we're also working on one by Cozy Quilt Designs called Tropics. Those 2 are both full-size quilts, so they take quite a bit of time. I think the Mix and Match, I think we're on like part 7 or part 8 of that one, so it's taking a little bit of time to get it done. And then Tropics, I think we're on part 4 or part 5. So yeah, we've got a lot of things going on the channel. It's a lot of fun. The full size stuff seems to work out really well on our live streams because, you know, it obviously takes longer to do. And then our videos are more block style tutorials.
No, so I'll have to go check those out. I haven't had a chance to see those yet. I don't get over to my friends' channels nearly as much as I want. By the time I go to work and come home and do what I need to do here and then plan and record and all those sort of things, I just don't seem to have any time left over at the end of the day. Donna is also, and she went across and she actually found the link to this shirt. So if you do want to buy one, you can go across there and get it. And if you use the link that she provided, I think that is her affiliate link, and that way she'll get a little bit of a kickback as well. And you know, you might as well use that rather than giving Jeff Bezos all your money.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of fun quilting t-shirts out there these days, and there's more and more now that you know, even good for guys too, because like not that long ago everything was, you know, all floral, and you know, I wouldn't wear it. So it's good that there's options out there for everybody now.
Yeah, the t-shirt quilts are fun to make. You know, like I said, I didn't mind making it. It was a lot of fun. It was just a matter of using someone, you know, working with somebody else's memories to me was just very, very stressful. Because you know, you have this whole other level of responsibility and making sure, because you're cutting it up into little pieces and you want to make sure that they still have the same memory when they look at it that they did before you cut it up into little pieces.
Yeah, and that's the thing that always scares me too. Like sometimes I'll sit and keep, you know, shirts for a while before I even cut into it, because you have one shot at it, and it's not like you can just run down the street and buy another, you know, half yard of fabric if you mess up. You know, these things are pretty much irreplaceable. So yeah, you do have this huge thing of responsibility. And like when I cut up the baseball jersey the other day, I was like, yeah, I could probably go order another one. But I mean, that'd be like probably $150 jersey. So I was like, I really don't want to mess that one up.
Yeah. Sean, do you prefer to work with the jersey fabrics or with the t-shirt fabrics? Which one do you find that you work better with?
Don't really notice a difference. I've worked with them all. I mean, I've used the technical tees that you use like for running shirts. I've used regular t-shirts. I've used polos. I've used button-down shirts. I did the jerseys here as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I really have a preference.
Okay.
Once you put the fusible backing on it, they all seem to work pretty much the same. I mean, the hardest one I'd say is probably this sports jersey, just because it's a little thicker. But other than that, they're all. Hang on, I am missing one. Okay. Yeah, it kind of just stabilizes and kind of, to me, it kind of levels the playing field. So, all right. Good morning, Chloe. It's good to have you with us.
Good morning, Chloe.
And I believe she is coming down to Virginia next week for the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival, if I remember correctly.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'll be going live for a little while next Saturday morning, and then I'll be running over to Hampton, which is about 20 minutes from here where the Quilt Festival is, and then hanging out there probably for the majority of the day. So I think she's coming down, if I remember correctly, and there's quite a few other viewers coming as well. So we'll try and see what we can do to find a spot to meet up. And if you want to come and say hi, you can. I'd love to say hi to you. I know that's probably a bit of a hike for you to come down, so I'm not expecting to see you next week, but
no.
We can come down and see. Why can't I remember his name? Your moderator.
Oh, Lucas. Yes. Yes, Lucas is in Virginia as well. I know what school he goes to, but for the life of me, I can't remember what town he's in.
Richmond.
Yes, and then we also have a daughter. My stepdaughter goes to Virginia Tech, so she's over there as well. They're about 2 hours apart from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've never been to Tech, but I know exactly where it is. All right. Ginger says, good morning. This is the reason I don't sleep in on Saturday mornings. Yeah, me too. I love that. I love just how many people get up every Saturday morning and come out and hang out with us. You know, it's just been an absolute joy.
It is truly an honor that people take time out of their busy day to spend it with us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like when I started this, I was like, I might get 10 or 15 people, and because it's early. I didn't want to go live in the middle, in what I call prime time, like on a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday night. I'm not a night person. And I figured, I'll try Saturday mornings. Everyone's still asleep in bed, so I'm not going to be bothering anybody. And we'll just see what happens. And week in and week out, everybody shows up, and it just means the absolute world to me. So thank you, everybody. And for everyone that comes and watches this later on as a replay, thank you for that as well. Every view, every like means the absolute world to me. And I know it's the same way for you, Dani.
Oh, absolutely. It's truly an honor. I mean, when I started my channel, I did not expect anyone to watch it at all. I mean, I would talk with my friends about it, and I would tell them, I'm like, you know what, I'm just doing this more for me right now than anybody else, because I'm not expecting anyone to ever watch it. And I just remember when I got my first 20 subscribers, I'm like, yeah, that's probably all friends and family. And then I got 50 subscribers, and I'm like, I don't think I know 50 people. And then when I got to 100 subscribers, I'm like, oh my gosh, people actually want to watch me.
In the same way. I didn't think you'd get to 100, and we're both well and truly past that point.
Yes.
Yeah, I also did a video I recorded a video this week I haven't posted it yet. I've got to edit it, but of how to cut up a t-shirt, like a jersey. So if someone ever gives you a jersey to cut up to put in a t-shirt, well, it is not as scary as you think. Just give it a go and you'll be just fine. Because I'd never done it before.
That'll be helpful. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it was included in the box I was given, and I'm like, well, I'm always willing to give something a try. And I was like, this could work out beautifully, or it could be an absolute disaster. And we will see what happens. And thankfully, it went as well as I had hoped. So yeah, if you ever have someone gives you a jersey to put into a t-shirt, well, don't stress about it. It's not not that different to
I've
anything
had
else.
I've had a couple of family members ask me about making t-shirt quilts, and I've only made one t-shirt quilt before, and like I said, it was really stressful. And it's not that I don't want to help the friends or family or do it for them, but especially working with worn t-shirts, they're so stretchy. And even with the stabilizer fabric or the stabilizer, I've had some issues with that. Just getting those to kind of stay stable enough to work with. You know, I've told my friends, I said, you know, I'm just not experienced enough to be able to really help you with that.
Yeah.
It's one of those practice makes perfect things, but by the same token, I'd much rather practice on my own fabrics than on somebody else's, somebody else's memories. So
Yeah. If you want to practice, I mean, a good way to do it would be, you could always just run down to your local thrift shop and just go pick out, 4 or 6 t-shirts for $1 a piece or whatever, and practice
that
with
is
those.
an excellent idea. I never thought to do that, but that is a great tip for the viewers. Is if you do want to try to learn how to make a t-shirt quilt or practice, that is an excellent idea.
Just run down to your thrift shop, buy just some random t-shirts and pack
Yeah,
them
they
up.
don't even have to match.
None of the shirts I get handed match, It's always a hodge, and it doesn't really matter, it's always a hodgepodge. Occasionally you get a sports fan where it's, all the same. But yeah, generally, if you want it to match, you'll be in a lot of trouble. But my biggest tip is if you got to do more than one t-shirt quilt, just go ahead and get the steam press. You will thank me later for that, because it takes a lot of that stress. It puts the stabilizer on a whole lot quicker, a whole lot better, especially on those trickier materials like you were talking about.
Yeah.
All right, Ginger says she can't go to QuiltCon this year, but I'm going to a G's Bend retreat in March and can't wait. That is awesome.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. I'm more into the idea of doing virtual retreats, so I don't have to pack up all my stuff and take it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I did the retreat at the local quilt store by my house here. That one wasn't so bad. Because wasn't traveling too far. It was like an hour from my house, so it wasn't too terrible. But I can't imagine these folks that travel by plane. They put their machine on a plane. I just thinking about it gives me anxiety. I mean, kudos to them that they're able to do something like that, because I would not be able to do that.
I've seen how those baggage handlers throw those bags onto the belts. I'm like,
yes, yeah. And Lord knows they're not small enough to fit and carry on.
I think I would, honestly, if I went to a retreat and I had to travel by plane, I would just go to my local UPS store and ship my machine.
Yeah, at least that way you would get tracking. But still, I mean, I work with UPS all day long on my full-time job. And even then, damage can be done to things and they get bounced around. And oh God, just thinking about it, it's giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I work with UPS too, but my stuff's in containers. So
Yep.
All right, so I got my row together, which is good. Yeah, I always, like you said, I think this putting the stabilizer on is the longest and the toughest part. And then to me, it's always like once you get that part done and you get everything cut out, it just flies together. It's kind of like when you watch
one of the things I really enjoyed about making my t-shirt quilt is I kind of got to play around a little bit with free motion quilting, because I quilted around the designs that were on each t-shirt. And so I kind of got to use a little bit of creative freedom, because I don't do free motion quilting right now. It's one of the challenges that I'd like to learn on my channel this year. I have some templates and some things that we're going to be trying out in the next couple of months, but I don't really do any free motion quilting. So for me, it was a lot of fun to try that out, to kind of test my skills a little bit. I used a walking foot just to kind of make it a little bit easier for myself. But that was one of the fun things that I did enjoy doing.
All right, guess whose Nancy is asking you, are you be on later? You're just going to be on tomorrow morning as usual, correct?
Yes, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, we will be doing our live stream. I already have the promo set up on my channel for this week and next week as to what we're going to be doing. So I won't be on today, which is Saturday, but I will be on tomorrow. And then on Monday, I'm going to be on another person's channel as well during the day. So I'm really excited for that also.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
you guys get 3 days of me.
3 days without friend Dani's always a good thing.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
And my best friend is here. He's made an appearance because I stitched this thing on backwards. Yeah, we keep it real here on the Guy Who Sews channel. Oh well. All right, Laura says she wants to try applique as well as hand stitch. Applique is a lot of fun. I really enjoy applique. I don't do it as often as I want, but I do a lot of, well, I do everything in machine. But I've done, all of mine is raw edge, and that's where the interfacing comes in really handy of that as well, because if you interface the pieces, you go to applique first. It makes it a whole lot easier. One of these days, I'll go ahead and put a tutorial video out for that, so that way if anyone wants to learn, they can. Because I hear it scares
That's going to be, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I finished.
Sorry. I get excited and I forget to be more polite. One of the blocks that we're going to be doing on the quilt block party, the block party videos on my channel will be an applique block. I was going to do one this last video we did, but I couldn't find a block in time that I wanted to try, but that will definitely be one of the ones we're going to be doing as a tutorial.
Very nice. Yeah, I find trouble finding nice applique blocks too. Like when I did my, I put out a video about it a couple of weeks ago with all the blocks I made for a quilt that I'm doing from our first exchange student. I had trouble finding blocks that I liked, so I ended up designing a lot of them myself.
I am not talented enough to be able to design blocks myself. I have to steal them from other people. All right.
All right, yes, that'll be good. It's okay. So yeah, I see people here saying it'd be good to have a tutorial video. So yeah, we'll definitely do that in the very near future. I've just got to find time to do that. All right. Okay, let's make sure we put it on right this time. Can you still hear us there okay, Dani?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, my audio is working now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Went quiet there for a minute, so I was just like, I hope we didn't have the tech gremlins come back and hit us again.
Not yet. Give them time. It's still early for them, so you know.
Yeah, we do okay here. I don't get a whole lot of tech issues, thankfully, but like the tech gremlins tend to sleep into like 9 or 10 in the morning. So
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a list, and I do need to add that to it and do that fairly soon because that's something I really want to do. Nancy says your sewing space is so bright and cheerful. I love it. Yeah, I love the colors on those walls too. It pops it, and I know it's Dani just by looking at when I see the walls.
Yeah. Well, it does play havoc with my lighting and with my video, but I love it as well. That's why I haven't changed it. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, Dani, you'd have so much less trouble with your videos if you painted your walls white." And I'm like, "Yeah, but then it wouldn't be as fun." So I'd much rather have bad videos and beautiful bright colors than white walls and nice clear pictures. So sorry guys, but yeah, no, I agree. Lime green is one of my favorite colors, as is a really dark purple. It's also the favorite color of my daughter, whose bedroom this is. I share this room with her. She's off in college. So when she moved out, I moved in. And I just kind of kept the colors because it's a lot of fun. I really like being in here. This is kind of this place this room has kind of become my safe space, and because it is such bright colors, it feeds the energy to me and really makes it easy for me to be creative. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of bright colored walls too. Like our kitchen, you might be able to see. No, not really. Sometimes you'll see in the videos, you'll see it's like a very bright, it's not a super bright orange, but it's orange. You know, we've painted one of the bedrooms a fairly bright green. Our bedroom's blue. Yeah, so we got some white walls, as you can see, but most of them we've gone over the years and made them a little brighter just to make it a little more fun. Okay, so now that I've stitched it on the right way.
And you wore off on me because I had to pull my best friend out now. I've got 3 blocks I sewed it on incorrectly, so I blame you.
I'm very sorry about that. We are starting to have a rule here on the channel that you do not speak his name. He's kind of like Voldemort from Harry Potter, because it seems like every time we mention his name, about 5 minutes later, he makes an appearance. So
it's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, we don't call him.
We don't call him. We don't call him, he calls us.
Right. It doesn't eliminate the need for him to make an appearance once every so often, but yeah, it seems like whenever you mention his name, he comes running. It's kind of like if you ever go to like a coffee shop or a restaurant, you never, ever, ever say, is it quiet?
Yeah.
that is like the world's biggest jinx.
All right. Well, I don't go to many coffee shops, but I'll have to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I end up at Starbucks a couple of times a week. I don't drink Starbucks, but my carpool buddy loves it. So we usually end up there on the way to work. And yeah, I was joking with them the other day. I said, yeah, I know not to say the Q word. She's like, no, please don't. Because I was a barista at our church cafe for a number of years. And yeah, anytime someone said the Q word, it went from like being very quiet to insanely busy. So when I train people, that was the first thing you learn. It's like, wear your name tag so I know who you are, and never say that word here.
All right, I'll have to remember that. That's a good one.
It was always the days where there was no volunteers and everybody just wanted coffee that morning, and you were backed up for 10 minutes. It wasn't fun.
Oh, no. I worked in retail for a long time, so I'm sure it had something to do, something similar, especially during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did my time in retail too. I think I did that for close to 10 years in Australia.
I don't think I did it for quite 10 years. When I was a kid, I had, when I was in high school, I actually had 3 jobs at one point, to try and help me save up for college. So I worked at a fast food restaurant. I worked in, a retail store, one of those big box retail stores. And then I also worked at the job I work at now full time, but at the time I was only a part-time intern.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I worked at Chick-fil-A for 4 years. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And it seems like the tool who must not be named is what Joyce said. I like that. Stephen's working on an FPP project. That seems to be the going rage right now on the YouTube channels. Everybody's doing the FPP, which is foundation paper piecing, for anyone that doesn't know. And
I love doing those. They're a lot of fun, but they take forever.
Yeah, I will jump on that bandwagon at some point, I'm sure. But right now, I am all about my Elizabeth Hartman and Art East projects. So I think I'll be sticking with that for the foreseeable future. But I know Donna and Becca are both doing stuff for Legit Kits, and they come up with some beautiful projects. So
yes,
if you're interested in purchasing those, definitely use the link that Donna can put in for me real quick. That's her affiliate link as well. yeah, they have some beautiful stuff. I know Becca's going to be working on a smaller project, and then I think Donna's doing something a little larger in the near future. So definitely check out those if you're interested in FPP. Beth from Goody Goods taught me how to foundation paper piece last year. I've done it a couple of times. It's not my calling just yet.
It can be a challenge at first, but I think once you kind of get the hang of it, I say it was, I mentioned that it's a pretty slow process, and it kind of is, but at the same time, it's also kind of quick as well, because, once you get the hang of it, you're just kind of turning it around and putting them together fairly quickly, but it does take much, much longer to do than traditional blocking. But that's only because the foundation paper piecing allows you to do the most intricate of designs, because you're basically just sewing on a line. It creates these beautiful, beautiful projects, but they do take a little bit longer to do.
Well, you can do the Wizard of Oz stuff and have 100 and some pieces in a block too. So, this is kind of like yeah, that's kind of where my heart is right now. And as I said, in 6 months, I might, be well and truly on the FPP bandwagon with everybody else. So Donna has put the link in for the legit kits as well. So definitely check them out. And they are actually coming down to the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival, which is where I'm going next weekend. So I do plan on visiting their booth and taking a look. Donna had a really good interview with, I think it was Mike, who owns or started the company. And that was a lot of fun to watch. If you are interested at all in FPP or what they do, definitely check it out, because he explained how they do it. And the thing I liked about how they organize theirs is they make it into either A4 or letter size paper blocks. So that way you're not working on something that's like enormous at once. You kind of just put all these blocks together at the end. So they break it down really nicely as well. So they have beginner friendly stuff. They have a little more intense as well. So yeah, definitely check out her video as well. Okay, she says take my code with you and use it at the booth. I will do that, Donna. Thank you for reminding me about that. Yeah, I think they were saying last week too, they have like this old, like they have a really cool vehicle that they drive around in. It's like an old, not fire truck, like an ambulance or something. I think that's a lot of fun. All right. Okay, so Nancy says she got the block of the month last year, but I had a full September, wasn't able to start until now. I'm busy cutting the templates. I'm 4 months behind. So is that the legit kits one as well, or is that a different one? And then when you did your t-shirt quilt, did you put sashing in between each one, or no?
I did not. I did not do stashing in between, because I was using the designs that I had for my t-shirts were really big. It was like almost the full front of the t-shirt. I think if the designs had been a little bit smaller, I might have had to do some stashing in order to make the blocks a little bit bigger. But because the blocks were, the pieces were already so big, trying to add the sashing would just have made the quilt just massive. It was already a queen size quilt as it was.
Okay. Yeah, those things are in. I like to keep them lap size when I can. It seems like every time someone wants one, they want it queen size, and I try and talk them out of it whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, this one was, they basically just sent me a huge box of t-shirts and said, use as many as you can. And I said, okay.
That's dangerous when they tell you that. I usually tell them, send me about 15 if you can.
Well, I did mine as a rag quilt. That way I could just do the pieces one at a time, and I didn't necessarily have to worry about how big or how small it would get. So I did everything as a rag quilt. So then that way, as I was working through it, it made it easier to figure out what size I was going to need.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think I've probably done close to 15 or 20 of them all together over the years. you've got this one here that I'm working on. I got 2 more that I need to get done before graduation time. And then I've got a king size one floating around upstairs that I want to do for our bed. I did most of the quilt top already, but then I kind of put it on hold because I didn't want to put it in our bed and have Finley chew it, because she was still in that stage where she liked to chew holes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, she's kind of grown out of that. All right. So now that I've got that row together and it's not inside out or upside down, I can go ahead and put these 2 rows together. Yeah, I like to put sashing in between mine. But I kind of, I like to put the different size blocks together. Like this has got 20 shirts in it all together. I've got 1 row that's 9 inches high, 2 rows that are 15 inches high, 1 that's 14 and 1 that's 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, basically I look at the designs on the shirts and then kind of just break it down based on how tall each block is and that sort of thing now, because I don't want a lot of space at the top or the bottom of each shirt either.
Right.
And I talk about that on my t-shirt quilt tutorial series. That's just how I do it. Everyone has their own method.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I was talking to Tucker about it last week on my live with him, and he does the mosaic style, which I want to try someday. And he gave me some really good tips on how to do that because I had no clue. So, all right.
Seriously, apparently I need more coffee. I keep sewing these all wrong.
It happens.
Oh my goodness. Apparently I need to drink more of my coffee.
Yeah, and then the Legit Kits is doing a block of the month program too. Apparently, I think it's starting soon, if I remember correctly. So if you don't want to do a whole big quilt kit, or you want to try something smaller at first, you can do that as well. I might have to look into that. Hang on, I need to trim this first. Please hold. Okay. Okay. We're very quiet today. Did I miss anything in the chat? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I know how it feels to be behind on a project. Nancy, with my Wizard of Oz stuff, I started in December with that, and it started in like September. So like they're up to block 6 and I'm on, I think 4 right now. I'm only halfway through that. I don't think I'll ever catch up, but I'll try. That's the one with the Dorothy, the Wizard of Tinman, Scarecrow. I'm working on Lion right now. And then the next one will be the Emerald City itself, and that thing looks intense. And then Glinda's out right now. And then the Winged Monkeys is coming out next month, which will be fun. Good morning, Margaret.
That's a block of the month?
It's a so-long. It's like a 9-month project. Each month they come out with a block. And it all comes together to make I think it's like, I forget what the finished size is. It's a good size lap quilt. Good morning, Becca. It is good to have you. We were talking about you earlier and how you helped me fix my Zoom issues, and I thank you so much for that. We actually got it to work. Donna says Nancy would take doing a breakdown price comparison on a few and be able to show the difference between 2 or 3. Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah. If you want to know anything about the Legit Kits and all that goodness, definitely just check out Donna and Becca's channels over the next few weeks, months, and that sort of thing there, because I'll be there. And I think Tucker's doing it as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I'll take a look at that stuff next week. I might get something small, but it may not be started for a while because I just have so many things I want to do and just not enough time. What I really
Amen.
need,
There's just so many things.
yeah, I really need someone to buy me a winning Powerball ticket so I can just do this full time.
Or just share it with me.
Yeah.
I don't need to win the whole thing. Just share.
Share. That would be nice. I'm not holding my hopes up. I mean, I think anyway I'm gonna.
No, me neither.
All right. Yeah, Becca says she was finishing up a project from last night. Yeah, that was a lot of fun watching that. She was doing an FPP project last night. See, she's on the FPP bandwagon along with everybody else.
I was not able to catch her live last night. I had some plans last evening, so I will be watching that later today. I'm excited to see what you guys worked on.
Yep, definitely check. Well, you don't have to watch this replay now, so it's one less you have to watch it.
Although I probably will watch it anyway. I like to watch all the replays just to kind of critique myself.
Absolutely. It's a good way for you to learn to see where you went right, what you can improve on. Yeah. I do the same thing where I can. So all right. Yeah, I'm sewing the jersey part now, and it doesn't feel that different to any of the other blocks now that the fusible interfacing's on it.
That's good.
Well, I was looking at it the other day and I was like, do I need to put it on here? And I did the old stretchy test and I was like, oh, it's got a bit of give. So let me just slap it on there just to be safe. And I think that was a wise move.
Well, I am just finishing up with my pre-cut pieces that I had from our live stream. And so now I'm actually starting to work on the actual chain piecing portion of it, of my log cabin blocks. The trickiest part, at least for me, and I'm sure those that make these all the time are much better at it than I am for sure. But the tricky part for me is always remembering which color goes where. I mean, the quarter turn is the way you want to go, but I always forget is it top or bottom or.
Yep, I understand. All right, Nancy says she loves the FPP that Becca did last night. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I watched a good part of it and enjoyed it. And it's fun to see the different projects everybody else is working on too. Like, I get a lot of inspiration from that.
That's one of my favorite parts about my community is that we have a Facebook page that we share pictures of what we're working on as well. And that is probably one of my favorite parts is being able to share to see what they're working on and kind of draw inspiration from them. And I say it all the time, and it's the name of my channel is I'm not an expert, but I feel like everybody else in my community is an expert. So our Facebook group is Dani and the Experts because they're all experts and I'm just learning from them.
Oh, absolutely. And I learn a lot from my viewers as well. Like, between us all, we have so much experience. Like, I don't have all the answers. So I don't pretend I do.
No.
So, I get a lot of suggestions and I love them, because sometimes, a lot of times actually, they come up with some really, really good ideas.
The quilting community as a whole is just incredibly amazing. Not just in person, but the YouTube quilting community is amazing as well. I mean, I've been part of the gaming community, the computer gaming community on YouTube, and it's it's a completely different environment. It's very competitive. It's very secretive. Nobody wants to share anything, whereas the quilting community is just overwhelmingly kind and considerate, and they just want everybody to succeed, and it's been an amazing experience so far for me, and I have so much fun with it.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the unexpected blessings in that. I wasn't expecting that because I kind of started just to keep myself accountable and, have someone say, hey, Sean, what's going on with your project? Why don't you finish it? All right. Janet says, my favorite quilts are Scrappy. I'm loving Laurie Holt at the moment. Is that the Scrappiness is Happiness book you're using? Is that what I remember, Janet, or am I thinking of something different? I want to do more stuff with Scrappy's. What I really want to do soon, once I finish one or two projects, is do one of Elizabeth Hartman's projects, but use scraps for that. And I think I can get away with it.
I am horrible with fabric with scraps. I'm not creative enough to be able to come up with ideas on how to use them. Of course, my community is amazing and they give me a lot of ideas, but I've gotten to a point where I actually give away my scraps because I'm a weekend warrior. I don't unfortunately have a lot of time to do things during the week. And the scraps, they take a little bit longer to work with and you got to be a little bit more creative with them, which I'm sure is, enjoyable for a lot of people. But for me, I just don't have that kind of time. So I just I keep all my scraps for each of the projects that we do or the blocks and things like that. I have a couple of Ziploc bags over here that I keep them in. And then I give them away to my community. When the bag gets full, then we do a giveaway on our live stream and whoever wants it can have it. Because I would much rather somebody else use it than it sit in a bag or a bin somewhere for me to eventually make the time for it.
So that's what I did right there. I hope you can all see some of it. So it's, really starting to come together. I think Becca does that too. Which is nice. So let's see. Where did I see? Donna is asking you, Dani, which channel are you going to be on Monday so we can share that link?
Yeah, I'm going to be on with Kathy. Kathy's Crafts and Quilts. Okay. She is so much fun. I was been on her channel once before, and we have such a great time. It's like a quilt retreat every time. It's just so much fun. So I'm really excited. I had the day off on Monday. I had some errands I had to run in the morning for some personal stuff. So I told her, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be home. Any chance I can join you?" And so we're going to be making a butterfly block. It's a foundation paper piecing block on her channel. So she's posted the pattern on her Facebook group for it. So I went ahead and printed that up. I've got to prepare my fabrics today for it, or today or tomorrow for that. But yeah, I'm really excited to join her and Susan and Diane and whoever else is going to be joining her channel. She always has a lot of really fun guests on her channel.
She does. That'll be fun. Yeah, I have to work Monday, but otherwise I definitely can't watch. But yeah, Monday's one of those partially. We have half staff on that holiday, so. But I enjoy working those holidays because it gets me a chance to catch up because the majority of my customers will be off. So I can actually get in and get some stuff done instead of trying to solve all their problems.
Yeah.
If you ever have to work with trying to solve customs release problems in Canada, it takes a lot of time. It's like a big puzzle.
Yes, it is. Yes, I work for a manufacturing company, a worldwide manufacturing company in Canada. We have representation in Canada, and sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun because you get this weird code, and it tells you something, and then you've got to try and figure it out, and you can't call them, because they'll only talk to you if you're a customs broker, which I am not.
No.
Yeah. So, and then usually the broker doesn't want to talk to them, so then it's just Yeah, it's a joy. It's like a big puzzle.
Yes. When my kids were little, they used to ask me what, because they'd come to the office with me a lot. My employer was really great about letting me bring them with me for a little while if I had something I had to do or whatever. And one of the times they asked me, they said, "Mommy, what do you do here?" Of course, this was when they were very little. And I said, "Mommy, what is it that you do here?" And I said, "Well, basically, people ask me questions and I find their answers." And that's basically the gist of what I do all day long.
Yeah, I solve problems.
Yeah. Yep. I've also joked before that I'm a bit of a fire person, a fireman, if you will, or a fire brigade, because I put out fires at work.
When I interviewed for my current job, that was actually what my general manager told me. He's like, yeah, a lot of your job is going to be putting out little fires all day. And
Yep.
I'm glad he said that because like it's true. Like you put out little fires each day.
Each day is a little bit different.
It's never the same. You just never know. Like every time a new email pops in, and I get 300 to 400 of them a day, you just never know what you're going to get.
No, some of them are real easy to do, and the other ones are like, "Oh, this one's going to take me all day."
Yeah, when I see like the word rejection or something like that, like, oh, geez, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, certain keywords that make me cry, and I'm really the only one trained in that section, so it's not like I can go ask. I can go ask my manager, but I don't like to ask her for help. I like to solve it myself. I mean, she's a great boss, and she'll help me, but she's busy enough as it is. She doesn't need to walk me through every problem.
Yep.
All right, so let's see what else is going on. Okay, everyone's saying the t-shirt quilt looks great. They love the orange. I've really come to enjoy. Yeah, I mean, I love bright colors. It's no secret to anyone that's watched my channel for more than 10 minutes. But I really have found that the bright colors on the sashing on t-shirt quilts really do make it pop. I chose this orange because it's the main color for the Baltimore Orioles, which is this person's favorite baseball team. But yeah, if you're trying to choose a color for sashing on a t-shirt quilt, I say go for something bright and colorful if you can. I mean, I've done lime green, very similar to your wall colors there, Dani, in the past for a Jimmy Buffett t-shirt quilt, and that looked beautiful. And a lot of times I just let whoever's I'm making it for choose. There's been times where they've selected a color and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work, and it's ended up working beautifully. So let them decide. All right, let's see. Ginger says she feels like an air traffic controller at work. I get an email request and pass it along for someone for some action. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't get to pass
There you go.
I don't have that luxury, unfortunately, most of the time. Faith says she's been working on a legit kit Eagle for almost a year. I try to do a block a day, but sometimes I have to get up. Yeah, that I've seen that one, and that one's intense. So yeah, I'm proud of you for giving that one a go. Yeah, he has some beautiful projects. I really want him to do like the Sydney Opera House. Maybe put the Sydney Harbour Bridge in the background.
Wow.
That would be a lot of fun. I would buy that kit in a heartbeat. I'd probably never finish it, but I'd give it a go. Yeah, I'd like to get this finished this weekend, so that way when I go back in the office on Tuesday, I can take this with me and show my co-worker the quilt top. Kind of surprise her. Okay, let's see. Christine is working on her Tula Pink Solar Flare quilt. Okay, so that's the Solar Flare quilt that everybody's talking about. Okay, I should have known that Tula had something to do with it. Yeah, because I had one that was called Solar Flare last year that I worked on, but it was not Tula's. It's a totally different project. And I figured you're all working on something different, but yeah, and my friend Christine, I believe, is the one that introduced me to the mythical Darksons. Well, she sent me a message one day and said, "Hey, Sean, there's this really cool Darkson quilt you need to work on." And I went and looked at the pattern and I was like, I need that in my life. And
I need that in my life. That's exactly how it usually goes, right? I need that in my life. I don't know why I need that in my life, but I need that in my life.
yeah, I went ahead and bought the pattern. I didn't have the fabric for it, but yeah, I figured that was a tomorrow problem.
Yeah.
And I'm almost done with it. I have like, I think 2 or 3 more blocks to go. So okay. Art East Rock. Yes, they do. If you haven't checked out Art East Quilt Company, they are a fun company. It's based in, well, very close to Sydney, Nova Scotia in Canada. And they have a lot of fun projects. They have the same sort of feel as Elizabeth Hartman, to me at least. But yeah, the Mythical Darksons is one project I'm working on. It's also the same designer. It's designed the Wizard of Oz series that I'm doing right now. Janet says she's finding it hard to stay awake. I hope we're not boring you to death, but I'm figuring it's just because it's getting late over there in Western Australia.
Mm-hmm.
She says she sympathizes. Goats and pajamas was a lot of pieces. Absolutely. Yeah, that one's a fun one. There's a few projects there that I want to do at some point in the near future. Marge says, great hearing you and watching you both, listening to your chat. Midnight here, so off to bed. Catch you later, Sean. Good night. Well, thank you for joining us. I really enjoyed that.
Good night. Have a good evening. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, I love that my buddies from Australia tune in. That was one of the reasons I went early in the morning as well. It'll get a little easier for them in about a month and a half when they drop their daylight savings and we go forward.
Mm.
So, all right, Nancy is here with us this morning. She says, hi, everyone, just got on. Who's on here with you today, Sean? This is Dani from So Not an Expert. She is a good friend of mine. I like to say that I'm a big supporter of her channel. I think you would like her channel. If you do exclamation point Dani, Dani, her link will pop in, hopefully. And yeah, she does a live on Sunday mornings at 10. Is it 10:30 Central?
Yes, 10:30 Central. The second Sunday of every month, we go a half an hour later because we do a virtual breakfast with our daughters. So I start our stream half an hour later, but otherwise 10:30 Central.
Yeah, and that's one reason I don't get to watch yours as often as I want to, because we usually chat with our first exchange student at 10 a.m. Central on Sundays. So Becca says, oh yeah, I talked with John from Artie's Quilting. Yeah, I need to have a chat to him too. I'd love to get him on here one day. So all right, Ginger says, my daughter has a Chewini, which is a Chihuahua Darks and Nicks, and he looks just like that quilt for her, but it's really intimidating for me. It's really not. The hardest part, I would say, is cutting out all the fabric. Once you cut it all out, it goes together really quickly. They have really good diagrams on how to put it together. The patterns are very well written. And if you ever have questions or anything else, especially about that Darkson quilt, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you if you have questions, especially since I'm putting it together right now. But I've found it goes together really quickly once you cut everything out. Using Karen Brown's quilt crew. We meet on Zoom once a month. Super friendly guy. Yeah, excellent. And I can reach out to him through the Wizard of Oz thing that I'm part of as well. I have to do that very soon. Okay, so I have the 4th row now on out of 5. And I will take a better photo or video of this later in the day for the podcast, so that way you can actually see it. And Nancy, you can see there's actually a black and tan dachshund now. I figured you'd like that. So, okay, I don't know how well you can see it, but that's what we've done. So now it's got one more row to put on. It's got to put the sashing on the bottom, and then I can attach this and the quilt top will be done. So unless there's some sort of catastrophe, this will be done today.
Looks great. You did a great job. And they're right. I do love that orange. That is the color of my car.
Oh, nice. Well, you wouldn't lose that in the parking lot.
Nope. That's why I love it. I tell people all the time, in a sea of silvers and grays, be the orange.
Yeah, both my cars are silver, and I just go park at the end of the parking lot because I don't want to fight with people, and at least I can find my car.
There you go. Yeah, I bought my car a few years ago. And I absolutely fell in love with the color of it. I love bright colors. I've always had weird colored cars. I traded in a purple one for the orange one. So I love bright colors. I mean, obviously, as is evident by my sewing room, and by the colors that I choose for my quilt tops and things. I just love bright colors. I love bright, bold, in your face kind of colors.
Yeah,
Life's too short to be gray and white all the time.
Yeah, I would happily buy a bright colored car like that, but every time I've gone shopping and needed a car, all they've had is silver and white. So, I'm like, whatever. I guess I'm just destined to have silver cars. But yeah, given a choice, given the option, I would happily do that. Okay, what am I backing with? I don't know yet. I would like to get like the Baltimore Orioles fabric. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, but that's got to be, I'll probably go to the quilt store in the next week or so and figure that one out. Nancy says, love that quilt, love the little doxy. I figured you would. And Nancy has a little black and tan short haired dachshund, and today is her first birthday. So happy birthday to Miss Sadie.
Happy birthday.
I'm not going to sing because 52 people that are currently watching would very quickly reduce to 1.
YouTube might copyright you too.
Yeah, copyright infringement because there'd be no one here to listen to it.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, her little Sadie is just the most precious little dog, and Nancy shares pictures of her with me all the time, and I just love seeing it, especially with us having lost our little bandit a few weeks ago. It's always fun to see pictures of little Sadie. So happy birthday to Sadie. I hope she gets a couple extra little treats today. Lynn says the orange sashings are popping the blocks. Absolutely, yeah. And I just love the brighter colors for the sashing. I used to do like black a lot on the earlier shirts, but then I did some like bright blues, bright greens, and that sort of thing there. I just think it really helps the quilts as well. And it kind of matches this orange. It's kind of what I went for. Okay, so she has a bark box to open, and for anyone that doesn't know what a bark box is, it's like a little subscription box that you can get for your pup, and it usually has like little treats and that sort of thing there. The dogs usually love it. I don't subscribe to that, but I do know what it is, and I think Sadie's going to really enjoy that today.
And you can get the toys that come in the bark boxes. You could, because they have a lot of really fun toys. My dogs love the toys. They don't do so well with the treats anymore. So we stopped getting the subscription, but they do really well with the toys. You can get those from Target.
Nice. Yeah, we've found Chewy's really
carries them.
I mean, for the toys. Billy really likes the rope toys. anything that has a squeaker, she just disembowels instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't do anything with squeaky or stuffing inside.
Yeah.
But my mother-in-law found this, it's almost like a teething ring, is the way I would describe it. And they love chewing on that.
Can anybody see what I did with my ruler? Oh, there it is. I found it.
Excellent. Yeah, two of my rulers went walkabout this week. I noticed floating around somewhere, but okay, we're almost done with this, and then I can attach this, and this quilt top will be done. And now I have all this time to do something else today. That'd be nice.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I get to a point when I finish a quilt top and then I have like extra time that I didn't plan for. I just kind of like sitting here and go, what am I supposed to do now?
Well, we've still got to finish the cowardly lion block. I didn't, so that's going to be my next task because I'm only part of the way through that. Where is he? I'll show you all real quick.
I am loving those blocks. We were talking about those on my live stream last week. We got on the subject of the Wizard of Oz. You just never know what we're going to talk about on my channel on the live streams. But we got on the subject of the Wizard of Oz last week, and so we were talking about your Wizard of Oz blocks and how much we absolutely love them.
Yeah. Yep. So that's his head so far. So.
Oh, wow. Now, are those traditional piecing? I haven't been watching your channel enough to know. Are those traditional piecing blocks or are those paper piecing blocks?
It's all traditional.
Wow. Those are some teeny tiny little pieces. I'm impressed.
Let's see. I think like this part here. Am I showing it right? Yeah. This part down here, they're 1 inch blocks. So.
Oh, that's some small pieces. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do that. I struggle with the teeny tiny little pieces. My machine does not like them.
Yeah, this machine does all right with the small pieces surprisingly well. It's not as hard as I thought when I did the scarecrow block. There was like 7 of them in a row, and I'm like, there is no way these all to line up. And and it said like if you don't want to do this, you can just like do a 1x4 piece and just not have the fringe. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a go and see what happens. And shock of all shocks, it came out to the right size.
Well, that's good.
I was absolutely shocked. I didn't think I had any hope of getting it right the first time. But I was like, yeah, try. And I think the important thing is making sure that you have an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance on your machine before you start.
Yeah, and I usually end up having to use leaders when it's really small pieces or triangle pieces sometimes, just to make sure that my machine doesn't eat them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't get that problem a lot, thankfully. I've been very, very lucky. All right. So
I was having problems in the beginning with the cotton cuts triangles when I first started making them, but I think I've got them down pretty good now, and I kind of know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But just the small, when you're doing the traditional pieces and you've got the really tiny squares and stuff, I found that having my needle down to start helps, and then also using some leaders helps as well.
Yep. Definitely good tips. I mean, I kind of do like, after a while, you just try to do it automatically. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Yep. Practice makes perfect, as they say.
Oh, it does. And that's one thing I've said a lot. And yeah, I think every quilt is a learning experience. You learn something from it. Sometimes you realize what it is and sometimes you don't. But I think every quilt that I've made, I've taken something from it.
Yeah, a lot of people on these interviews, they always ask me what my favorite block is. And it's really hard to answer that question because I'm still learning all of the different blocks. And like you said, each block you learn something new with. So it's I like to say that my favorite one is the one that I've learned the most from, but I can't really pick one that I've learned the most from because I learned from all of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me that question, say the half square triangle is something that I've learned a lot from doing them so much, like the different ways of doing it. Like cotton cuts, I learned a lot from just because you do so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten a lot better at it. It's like even from a year ago to today, like when I was making stuff last year, I'm a lot better at it than I was 12 months ago. So yeah, just do it. It's not going to be perfect, but you'll look back and go, okay, look, this is the progress I've made.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever.
One of the big things on our channel is done is better than perfect.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you're not entering it into a show.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I need to start my quilt show project soon, otherwise there won't be going up this year. Because even though it's not due till September, it approaches on you very quickly. It's February now, and I'll blink and it'll be middle of August. And then I'm like, oh, whoops. I need to finish that.
And it's already halfway through February. That's the part that fascinates me, is it's like, my God, where did January go?
Gone.
I know, my goodness. The year goes by so quickly.
It does. All right. So once we attach this, we are done with my quilt top. I am so excited. All right, Dani. I was hunting for my big rotary cutter. It took like way too long to find. And then Nancy says,
they do.
Yeah, I keep all mine on like a little cup. I did a half marathon about 10 years ago, and my wife bought me a cup, and then Finley decided that she wanted to chew it. And so I can't drink out of it anymore, but I figured it was a good thing to put my rotary cutter and scissors and
You're just trying to make sure you didn't forget her during the day, that's all.
Yeah. Well, she grabbed the cup one day and then took it under the bed where I couldn't get to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then I finally fished it out, and she'd already done the damage to it. And I was like, well, I don't want to throw it out. So now I keep my scissors and all that stuff in there. And it's worked out really nice. Yeah, and then my friend who shall not be named.
Yeah. I have a little basket. I'm sure you guys can see it here on the corner of my desk here. I've got a little basket with all the stuff that I use on a regular basis, your friend that shall not be named and your purple thing and stuff like that. And then I keep a little plastic cup. This is one of the plastic cups that our kids used to drink out of. I grabbed it one day because I was trying to find something to put my little teeny tiny, cuttings on. So I grabbed it. And it's just become part of my room now. It's just a little plastic cup that the kids used to use. I think it has a mustache on it, or what's left of a mustache on it. And it works perfectly for all my little cuttings and snippings. And then I just dump it in the garbage can when I'm done, and I don't have to worry about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have a similar thing. I mean, it's full now. It's an old pot from used to have an orchid in it, which outgrew that thing. So it's a nice little ceramic bowl. It's interesting what we find to use for that sort of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. We are a resourceful bunch, if nothing else.
Exactly. All right. So I think once I finish this row, we'll go ahead and wrap up and send everybody off on their day in a little bit. I'm pretty sure that Mum and Pop, I didn't see her this morning, but Laura Lynn from Mum and Pop Shop pops in a lot in the mornings, which I think is absolutely awesome. It's like a celebrity is always here, in the same way with Becca. But they will live. I think it's usually around 1 p.m. Eastern or noonish Central. And then I forget who else is going live this week. And I think Tiffany goes live tomorrow. Donna goes live like every 20 minutes. So just check out her channel. I'm sure she'll be going live at some point. I'll have my podcast. Do you have anything coming up in the near future special besides your live tomorrow?
No, like I said, I'm doing a live tomorrow, and then I'll be on Kathy's channel on Monday. I'm gonna try to do our next clue for Piazza as a video on, I'm hoping for Thursday. But otherwise, no, nothing crazy special. The live streams we always do fun stuff on those, like I've mentioned before, the games. You know, we try to do stuff kind of randomly. I don't always plan on things ahead very much. I need to get better at planning ahead.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just fun to say what you want. You know, that's kind of what I do on my Saturday morning lives. Is I don't plan what I'm going to do sometimes until the night before. I think it's just more fun just to do what makes you happy. This is your crafting time, and you should do what makes you happy.
Oh, absolutely, for 100%. And we never do the same thing 2 weeks in a row on our live streams. That's why I have a couple of full-size projects, and we do a couple of other things as well. We're going to get into free motion quilting in March. I'm going to start trying to figure that out. I've got to get some fabrics together, some pieces together to start practicing for that. So that'll be fun. I'm really excited to learn how to do that from my community and from all of our members. We're really excited to try that out.
That's great. Yeah. And then if you haven't checked out my Battle of the Fabric series, we're voting now on the final four. And, definitely go open vote on that. That's been a lot of fun too. All right. Well, it's good. Oh, I hope I didn't upset you, Donna. I wasn't trying to be mean. It's like I can't keep up with your live schedule. You always got all these. She always has so many wonderful people. She's seems to be able to find the who's who of quilting, and I know she does a lot of stuff on Monday nights, but sometimes she'll do stuff on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. I think she has her live tonight with one of her FPP projects. As well. So yeah, definitely check out her stuff as well. All right. Let's see. Nancy says she has an abundance of coffee cups, so use some of those for storage of tools. That's always a good option too.
Coffee cups always make really great storage tools. I use them a lot in my kitchen for various things, like my sponges and the caps for all of your kitchen knives and things like that. I use a lot of them there.
Yeah, no, they're always a good fun tool because you always get like a million coffee cups too. You can't drink that much coffee safely.
No. It's probably not healthy.
No, not at all. Good morning, Cheryl. It's good to see you.
Morning, Cheryl.
Teresa is asking Donna, does she ever sleep? Yeah, we ask that question all the time too. Yeah, she's just a go-getter. Like,
I was actually telling my husband the other day that I wish that there was a way that we could survive without sleep, because then I would get so much more done.
yeah, that would be nice, but then probably just dump so much on us that it wouldn't make any difference. So
that's true. Well, that's probably true.
Be careful for what we wish for.
Because you mentioned that you're not a night person, and I am the opposite. I'm not a morning person. I'm much more of a night owl. I'm much more productive in the evening hours. My husband jokes that I'm a vampire because I have way more energy at night than I do in the morning.
Yeah, it's funny that we're all so different in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I asked that question on my podcast, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and it's a nice healthy mix. I think there's a lot of morning folks and then there's a lot of evening folks as well. So you're not out of the ordinary. I know Donna is definitely a night person. She does her midnight lives sometimes with her FPP projects, and I'm usually not around for those. All right, Nancy says she is a night owl as well. All right, so I might show the whole thing because it's almost impossible. Oh, there we go. Have a look at the right camera. There we go. I'm so excited this thing is done. There we go. All right, good morning, Rachel. Good to see you. We are just actually getting ready to wrap up in just a few moments, but I had my friend Dani from Sonar Expert join me. We had a good time just hanging out and saying hi and enjoying each other's company and doing some sewing. I worked on my t-shirt quilt that I'm making for a co-worker and just finished the quilt top. So I'm actually very excited about this. And I'll show you some more detail tomorrow on my podcast with much better videos and photos and all that good stuff there. And then Dani, you want to show us what you were able to achieve this morning?
Yeah, let me just finish up this one piece here and I can show you guys what I've been doing. I've been working on chain piecing log cabin blocks. So I started with 2.5-inch blocks and then just started sewing them right onto the jelly roll strip. I didn't bother. I did have some pre-cuts because I had started with some, but normally I don't. And so I've got actually I have 2 jelly roll strips here and I just started sewing the block right onto it. Let me show you what I've got. And that's where I'm at right now. This is some Valentine's Day fabric that I started with on a live stream on my channel. And then I just cut them apart, iron them up, and sew them again.
Excellent. That looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. Nancy is asking how wide the sashing is in between the blocks. I like to do a thinner sashing. I do 1.125 inch in between each block, and then I do a 2-inch sashing around the edge. And those numbers work well for me. I don't like a super wide sashing between my blocks. I want the focus to be on the shirts themselves, not my sashing. I just like it to be a pop of color. So that's what I do. I try to make mine a little thinner. It works for me. I like having the wider sashing on the border, but that's just how I do it. So Ange says, love watching live. Take care. Catch you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, Ange. It was good having you here with us. But I think with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap everything up and say goodbye because it's, we've been here for an hour and a half and that's about what we like to do each day. So thank you so much for joining me. Definitely check out Dani's live tomorrow. Always a lot of fun, 10:30 a.m. Central. And then check out all my other friends that are doing their projects. Becca had her live last night. Donna will be live later tonight, I believe, if I remember correctly. I need to write this stuff down one day. I'll have my podcast tomorrow as usual. If you haven't voted for the Battle of the Fabrics, duck over, do that. And just, check out everybody's stuff. And if you have a long weekend, enjoy your extra day. Hope you get some sewing in. If not, I'm sorry. I have to work too, so you won't be alone. Thank you all. I hope you all have a great day, and we will see you all next time. Happy sewing. All right.
It's so nice seeing you.
Thanks. Okay. Well, that worked.